Days to go now before the start of the new school year, and very timely new study out this morning from the University of British Columbia, which is shining a light on what Canadian kids eat in the school lunchroom. Researchers looked at 11 components of a healthy diet, and unfortunately, the results were dismal. The average score for Canadian children, 53.4 points out of a possible 100 on the School Healthy Eating Index. So there's a lot of room to improve when it comes to making sure students get the nutritious diet they need. They were looking at things like vegetables, fruit, dairy products, and sorely missing the mark, which is why, welcome back, Sue Ma. We've invited in registered dietitian, someone we turn to often on stories like this, and it's great to see you this morning.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
What do you make of those findings?
You know, this was the first study ever in Canada that looked at children's diets during the school hour versus outside of the school hour. And, you know, it is a bit surprising. 1/3 of the daily calories are consumed during the school hours. So we need, as parents and as caregivers, to make sure that we're packing some healthy lunches for our kids.
That's right, and that's why we've called you in, because obviously we're falling short of the mark. They have lots of breaks for snacks, they have the lunch hour, and not getting the nutritional needs met during those important school hours. So Sue has 5 tips, 5 recipes, 5 ideas for nutritional things you can pack in your child's lunches. Let's go. What's number 1?
So the first one is a chickpea lettuce wrap. And I love this idea because kids are falling short on getting enough protein at lunch. And so with chickpeas, you're getting protein, iron, fiber. And research from the Cornell University found that kids like a meal that has lots of different colors. In fact, 6 different colors. And that's, this recipe has 5 different colors. So we're getting pretty close. But you can see we've got some tomatoes, some mango, some fresh mint, red onion, and the lettuce and the chickpeas. So a very colorful meal, and also finger food, which is another thing that kids like to eat.
I'm going to keep questions in mind. I'm going to let you go through the 5, and then I'll come back to some of the questions I'm thinking of as I look at that delicious suggestion. Number 2 is your chicken pasta salad, your award-winning chicken pasta salad, I have heard.
Yes. So my daughter, when she was in grade 3, hated sandwiches. So together we went to the kitchen and thought, well, what can we make instead of a sandwich? So I had leftover chicken, and she said, Mom, let's make a chicken pasta salad. So I diced the chicken, I boiled the pasta, but she grated the carrots, diced the cucumbers, added the dressing, we mixed it in, and this is still one of her favorite lunches. She's in grade 10 now.
Look at that. Carrot and cucumbers. So there you go, right there with the veggie content.
And you're getting the veggies, exactly.
Perfect. And next is beet hummus.
Yeah, so again, kids love to dip things. So if we can pack in those veggies, the carrots, the cucumbers, the red peppers, give them something to dip. It could be a yogurt dip. It could be tzatziki. I like the beet hummus because, again, you're getting the protein from the chickpeas, but the beautiful red color, again, the colorful fruits and vegetables is what's going to appeal to that young child.
And make them think, I'm not going to throw this in the garbage can. I'm going to sit down and eat that tasty, colorful thing that Mom or Dad prepared. Apple sailboats, what are those?
This is a cute little one if you've got a young child. So I love pairing produce plus protein. So you take an apple and you slice it into wedges, dip it in some lemon juice so that it doesn't brown, and then you just cut cheese into triangles, stick it with a toothpick, and you've got a little sailboat. So make food fun to eat for your kids. This takes no time at all to make, and the kids can even help you.
Really? No time at all. Again, I got to come back to this. Zucchini waffles, that's your final suggestion.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, breakfast for lunch, why not? So this particular recipe has grated zucchini
in the waffle.
In the waffle.
Sneaky,
so
you're
sneaking
tricking
it in,
I see.
exactly. And so you're sneaking in that goodness. Add some fresh berries on top. Add a little bit of maple syrup. That's okay to add because you want the food to be flavorful for the kids. And then maybe pair it with, you know, a hard-boiled egg or some cheese or something to round out the meal. So breakfast ideas can absolutely be included for lunch.
And they could eat that cold?
Sure they can, or you can wrap it up, you know, toaster oven, wrap it up in some foil and keep it warm for lunch.
So I guess the main thing is the time pressure for parents getting everybody out the door when you're talking about waffles and you're talking about well, you said sailboats aren't too timely, but are time consuming, but the lettuce wraps, is there a time in the day for parents to do those things?
You know, the best tip is to make it the night before. Honestly, I mean, things happen in the morning. The kid gets a nosebleed. There's a snowstorm. You've got this, and that. So I always like to prep things the night before. Get the kids in the kitchen to help you because when kids are involved, they're always more likely to enjoy the food that you've prepared together.
And start those good eating habits at a young age.
Absolutely.
I want to show you some footage as well in between because one of the things that this study points out, which is really interesting, and I didn't know it, that Canada is the only G8 country that doesn't have a national school meal program. So if we look at some footage, this is actually from a Michael Moore documentary, Where to Invade Next, and he looks at the programs in France where they have things like organic veggies, pate, organic bread, cheese, lamb tagine, and crepes and things. Goodness. It's just part of the culture, of course. But that's what they have as an organized school program. Some people would like to have something, I don't know if that elaborate, but in place in Canada, provincial jurisdiction, budget, there are all issues that come into play. But from a policy standpoint, what do you see out there that you like or you think is interesting that we're doing in Canada?
You know what? So as you mentioned, Canada is the only G8 country that does not have a national school food policy. There are school food regulations on a provincial basis. So there are some, guidelines as to what can and cannot be included or served in a cafeteria. But Health Canada is looking at restricting marketing to children. And in fact, the consultations just ended. So I think that is going to help consumers and parents and children better assess food and food quality and figure out what's a good choice to put in that lunchbox versus what's a choice that can maybe stay for special times and special occasions.
Right. Maybe not lamb tagine served at the school, but at least some thinking along that line.
Absolutely.
Sue, thank you. And I have to say congratulations. Sue, I got to get this title right. Dietitian of the Year from the Dietitians of Canada Business and Industry Network. That's why we get your expertise.
Thanks
we love
so
to have
much.
it. Thank you, Sue.
My
Great to have you
pleasure.
in this morning.
Thank
Sue
you.
Ma.